target speaker is giving project 5, your body speaks. The objectives of the project are use stance, movement, gestures, facial expression and eye contact to express your message and achieve your speech purpose. Make your body language smooth and natural. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. What do you think?
Ladies and gentlemen and co-hosts, put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Vinoth Kumar on stage. Toastmaster Vinoth Kumar, plant a seed, water a plant. Plant a seed, water a plant, Toastmaster Vinoth Kumar.
Once upon a time, the great Warren Buffett, during an interview, exclaimed, "Someone is relaxing under a tree because someone planted it a long time ago." Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever planted a seed? Have you ever watered a tree? Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. It all started when I was a 4-year-old kid. My grandmother, who would be an adorable angel during the day, would often turn into a howling hound in the night. I could see her waking literally at the midnight and shouting, "Leave me, get away!" She would sit erect in her bed and do all karate poses. The next day, when I approached my grandmother and asked, "Grandma, who were you fighting with yesterday?" she would pat on my head and tell, "My dear child, I was fighting with my mother-in-law who died 10 years ago. Your great-grandmother is not letting me live in peace even now." This incident planted a seed of superstition on my mind. As years progressed, I moved into college and I moved into my class 9. And in our hostel is a small 2-story building with 5 large rooms located right in the center of a devastated farm. Our hostel warden, who is an aspiring director, was also our history teacher at school. At school, he would enthrall us with historical stories and indulge us in finding what true knowledge is. But when he comes to hostel, he would often becomes this fictional storyteller as director of sorts. He would usually, whenever there is a power cut in our hostel, he would take all the 12 students to the corner of the room and arrange us in a listening circle and sit right in the center of it and light up a candle in such a way that the only thing which is lit up in the entire room is his face, and start telling ghost stories. He would usually go with the fictional stories. But once he told us a real story, a story that happened in our hostel. It was 3 a.m. in the morning. Our hostel warden Ganesh woke up at 3 a.m. to attend to his nature's call. He walked out of the hostel and wandered into the wasteland beside it. That is when he heard the howling of the dogs. Ooh. The sound of the dry leaves in the air. And then he saw a beautiful 25-year-old girl, fully clad in white, without any legs, floating in the air and wandering in the wasteland. This story might sound like a typical Tamil ghost movie story. But at 15 years of age, I didn't know the difference. This story changed the way that I lived in my hostel. Right next week, I went home and returned with the precautionary measures. One, I had a small rectangular album filled with God's pictures starting from Ganesh to Kali. I had 4 to 5 spiritual threads tied around my hand. I came up with 4 or 5 slippers to wage a battle against the ghost. To add to all this, I would, right at 7 o'clock, I would run to the neem trees near our hostel, pluck its leaves and put it in my pocket because neem trees had spiritual powers. From that day, I have moved past from that ghost frightened style. I don't have my album right now. It is all digitalized. I have only one spiritual thread. I don't even have my slippers. And I don't go anywhere near the neem tree. But still, there is the small part within myself, the small part of the ghost frightened child which is right inside me somewhere, which pops out when I am alone in the dark. To this day, I would close the doors and windows of my room and then only go to sleep. Thanks to my stupid notion that the ghost can't reach you when your doors and windows are locked. Ladies and gentlemen, now when I retrospect, the reason why I became that ghost frightened child, the reason why I still am frightened about the ghost is one, the seed of superstition which was planted by my grandma. Two, the plant of superstition which was watered by my history teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you again, have you ever planted a seed? Have you ever planted a superstitious seed? Have you ever watered a plant? Have you ever watered a superstitious plant? Toastmaster of it.
Now I understand why he always shuts the door when he kicks me out of his room after his ghost discussion. So all the ghosts are listening to you, Vinoth Kumar. Today they'll hunt you down. A thunderous applause for the beautiful gentleman who gave. The next project is given by our ex-treasurer,